Hey everyone, my name is Delaina Burns and I'm with you tonight for Live with Prima. And I'm going to be creating this special event, special occasion / wedding planner. I am using it as a wedding planner. My daughter is getting married in July. So I just needed something to keep everything in one spot and something I can grab and take with me. And I wanted to kind of shabby it up with some of beautiful Prima products, but also Frank's gorgeous new line, Tales of You and Me. Perfect for the engaged couple and beautiful colors. So before we get started, I wanted to go over some announcements. Our next show is going to be Jamie Doherty. She will be creating a Bible journal entry and tag combo using her Creating in Faith collection. Y'all be sure and be here for that Tuesday, January 26th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Also, remember Art Venture Seaside registration is open. Join for this smaller event in a beautiful venue on Coronado Island in San Diego. Let's see, the event will take place on April 19th and 20th, 2016 with Anna Dabrowska, Debbie Anderson, and John Peterson. Email Denny for more information, and that's Denny at primamarketinginc.com. Sounds like a fabulous weekend, so wish I could go. Enjoy the ones that do get to go. So I'm going to lay my phone to the side and go ahead and get started. I see it's snowing somewhere, so I can't read the chat and teach. Y'all know that, so I'm moving on. Okay, so started this planner off with this mixed media album cover. This is a canvas cover. I've added some of the beautiful papers from Tales of You and Me, Frank's gorgeous collection, some of Frank's trims, and some beautiful metal trinkets with some chipboard. And you can see when I turn the page, I've just added some color in here too. You see the outside is colored and stenciled. And anyway, I want to just kind of give you a peek through the album, or the planner rather. This is not complete. I am a work in progress right now because I am busy trying to see exactly what I do need in here. So this is a page of all the trims that I'm using in lots of the wedding decorations that I am making. This is going to be a DIY by me, so I have to have all of my samples and things that I'm using. I need a little sample of each one, just so that I remember what I got and what I need to go back to. So you can see lots of pretty Prima stuff here, plus some other things that I'm picking up. But these canvas sheets make it really good to do that. So before I show you the whole thing, I just want to kind of show you first what I have used. First thing that I used is this mixed media album cover, and that is number 563707. That's got a front and a back to it. It is kind of padded, so we'll be using that. The next thing that I have inside of my album is this mixed media album book. It's a mixed media book to go inside of your album, inside of these covers. This is number 563745, and I just want to show you what you get. I hate the crackling paper, y'all. Give me 1 second and I'll stop making that noise in your ear. So lay this to the side and I'll show you. Lay our cover to the side, and you see these are the pages that you get. And they're really thick, really strong papers. They're all tabbed, and they have a few sayings on them. The simple things. They're a pretty good match to the actual papers that I'm going to be using. There's a little extra blue in there, which I don't mind with the blue thrown in. See the beautiful roses. All of these little dividers are tabbed. So you have tabs through your planner, so you can just kind of see all the dividers. You also get a little sheet of cut out embellishments. If you want to cut out the tag or the tabs or whatever, whatever you might want to use these for, or you can just use this background paper, which that's what I did here. You also get some extra cards that you could cut apart and cut out, or you could use the background paper. You also get this sticky alphabet with a few words to use as well. Works great for a planner. Then you get a few of these canvas sheets. These are resist canvas sheets. You get 2 of those. You get some really thick cardstock add-in papers, and you can use these as dividers if you would like to add tabs to them or whatever. I've made some folders out of these, and I'll go over those in just a minute. You also get some I'm trying to think of the word, some cardboard colored ones as well. And I love it when I'm on the show. Sometimes the words and the descriptions just completely leave me. You also get these little dividers where you can slip in. You can slip in photos. You can slip in business cards from numbers that you need to remember. Just lots of different things you can use these for. I'm going to show you what I'm using mine for as we move on. But just want to kind of lay this to the side because I'm going to grab a few pieces out of here and show you how I worked it and just basically go through my album showing you how I made things. I think that's going to be the easiest way to get this planner completed tonight. So the first thing I want to start with is our cover. So I'm going to lay everything else to the side. And I'm going to grab my cover. And I've got a cover right here, kind of a naked one. I have another one prepared, waiting in the wings over there, so we don't have to worry about drying this one. So the first thing that I want to do is, I think I need a little more light. Let's get a little more light up there. I hope I don't cause more shadowing by getting more light. I need to grab some modeling paste. I did not get my modeling paste, so really quickly let me grab that if I can find it. Of course I'm finding everything but okay, I got it. Grab the modeling paste, and we need our bloom sprays. I used cotton candy. You can see cotton candy. I used iris, which is a really pretty purple. And I used tea stain. One of my faves. I think the Empress Gold is my very fave, but I think this is close runner-up. Love tea stain. Okay, so I want to grab my spatula for my... Give me 1 second. Sorry, I didn't grab all my tools. 1 second. Let me find my spatula. Let me find it. It is here somewhere. Can't get started without it. I don't want to be getting up again. Y'all chat for 5 seconds. Let me find that. You know, I should have 10 of them like laying right here. And I probably do. Somewhere. Well, that's okay. I may have to give up. I'm not seeing it. And maybe if I sit back down, it will appear. So let's go ahead and get started with our coloring, and maybe I will think of where it is. Lay our book to the side. I don't want to recolor it. I don't want to wet it. So what I'm going to start with is just a little bit of water. Y'all know this may be the show of non-existent tools. I moved my water. Where did I put it? Where? Oh, here's my water. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm tired. I've been driving a lot today. Today has been a busy day. So let's get some of this shadow. Let's get some of this shadow back off. Okay, the first thing I want to do is just give it a quick coat of water. Just kind of, and that the water just kind of helps you not use so much of your product. It helps you to not use so much of the bloom sprays. Sort of preserves your product a little bit. Then turn it over. Do the same thing on the back. Just give it a spray of water. There's no resist on the inside of the cover. That's why I added a little bit of actually added a little bit of paper in here for a little more contrast. You see it takes a little more to saturate the inside. Still trying to, going over in my mind, where is my spatula? I will locate it. I only own like 10. Okay, once you get that kind of saturated, I'm going to grab a couple of paper towels to place under it. I hope my focus is okay. I'm not looking over at the camera so much. I want to give my bloom spray a good shake. Take it out from under the microphone a little. And give it a good shake and a good spray. Just going to kind of hold my paper towel up a little to keep it from going everywhere. And you can see with the cotton candies, what I'm using right now, I'm just going to kind of spray the whole thing. And then I'm going to grab a few baby wipes and just give it a nice wipe. I want that resist to really kind of come through. Add a little more. I want it a little darker on the outsides, so just add a little more. I want kind of a soft look. I don't want it really, really dark. So, just going to wipe a lot of this right back off. The next thing I'm going to do is shake up my tea stain. I feel like this is really still kind of bad light. Maybe that's a little better. Shake up my tea stain. And I want to add it just kind of right in the middle. Right down this little middle section here. See there? And then take your baby wipe and kind of spread that out. I just want to kind of soften up that pink, kind of give it a golden hue by adding the tea stain. Then I'm going to go back in with a little more of my cotton candy until I kind of like, and I'm telling y'all, this light is terrible. I'm trying. Sometimes it's better at night and sometimes it's not so great. So let's just see if I can get a little more. Okay, so actually it looks a little brighter than it really is. Okay, that is about what I want. I may add just a little more of the cotton candy. So I want it mostly pink. So, and then what I want to do is add a little bit of this iris purple color. And just in a few places, I just kind of in a few spots around this outside, I want to add that. I just want a hint of this purple color. I think I wiped most of that off. Just a little hint of that purple color. Then what I'm going to do is turn this over. This is why I kind of wanted this paper towel under here so that it kind of was soaking up. And I'm going to just cover it with my cotton candy. I'm going to add a piece of paper to the center so I'm not so worried if I don't get the entire center covered. And before I wipe that, I want to add some tea stain because I want to mix these two colors pretty well in here. So just want to kind of move the color around with your baby wipes. And I've not changed baby wipes. These are pretty saturated. So just kind of move that around. And then with your iris, go in with just a little of the purple. And then just kind of blend that in as well. And that is it for our inside. Just about like that. So what I can do now is take my paper towel and wipe up my mess. And you see that's what we've got. Do the same thing to the back cover. There's a front cover and a back cover. So you'll want to do the same thing to your back cover. Grab a few more paper towels. And next, what I want to do is take one more try at finding my spatula. I may have to use my ruler. Yeah. Okay, that's not going to happen for me. So I'm just going to grab my ruler. I've done this before. You just need a flat surface. So we're going to use the side of our ruler as our flat surface. And grab our stencil. I want to change this one up just a little bit. Instead of using the stencil that I have on the actual product list, Carrie has that number. I want to use the bubble stencil just to make this one a little bit different. Kind of like the idea of the bubbles too. I'm not going to finish this one, but it will be something that I do finish later. So what I want to do is just literally take my ruler, just like if it were a spatula, dip it into my modeling paste, and then I'm going to grab this ink. This is vintage pink. Oh my gosh, chalk edger. Y'all, I appear very scattered. I feel like I'm like half asleep. So what I'm going to do is just kind of smear a little bit of this color on my stencil. And you can use any stencil, just use your favorite. I wanted to change this one up a little bit because this bubble one is kind of one of my all-time favorites. And I wanted to pull some of this darker pink color. So just kind of smear that on. Can you kind of see? I just kind of smeared that all over. Just put it actually on the stencil itself. And then you're going to take your color. And like I said, you can use a credit card, an old room key, lots of things. And I've used my ruler before, so this works really well too. It's got a nice straight edge. Just kind of smear that, spread that out, and you'll want to kind of spread that out all over. What it's going to do is pick up that pink color, and it's going to give you kind of a light hue of that color mixed in on your modeling paste. So you're going to get kind of some pink circles and some opaque looking spots in it. It's not going to be total dark pink coverage, but it will change the opaqueness of the actual modeling paste. You'll have some color versus it being just the opaque. So that's how I kind of like to add the color every once in a while if I don't want a lot of it. So when you lift that, can you see? Let's lay this to the side. Can you kind of see how you're getting those? And you may not be able to tell it so well on camera, but and this is still wet from the bloom spray too, so this is going to take quite a while to dry. Ideally you would want to dry this, then add your modeling paste, but it will all dry like this. It gives it a little bit flatter texture if you do apply it when it's wet, so I do suggest you dry this first. But I'm getting just some dark shading of the pink in areas, if you can kind of see that, and it's just like adding some pink down through. I just like the effect. It's just enough color for me on some projects, and this one in particular, that's what I wanted. So that's what we did to the cover. And so now I want to grab one that is already ready. And with this one, I'm going to go back so you'll get to see that one more time. This is a different album. I didn't have another one dried of that particular one, but this is another version of that same album. And this is number 563707. This just has a really cute design, and either one of these will work. So I'm going to swap and use this one. I'm going to grab my stencil that I just picked up. Oh my goodness, I'm losing it because my stencil was like here like 30 seconds ago. Where did I? Oh, here it is. Okay, here's the stencil that I used, 582975. This is Decor1, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add my color onto my stencil like so. I'm going to add a little more on this one because I'm going to have to move this one because it's a 6x6. So you can see I've added my color. Lay that down, grab my color out of my little jar here and spread this around, and then we'll be able to dry this. This one's dry, so we'll be able to dry this one with the heat tool, so you can kind of see the effect that you'll get from this. If you got it too dark, if you get more color than you wanted or whatever, I'm going to kind of show you in a minute how to kind of remedy that. I just want to be sure I get lots of these little pieces. This is another one of my favorite stencils. I love the design of this. I like the randomness of this one, and you can see it just goes on really good, and that ink just continues to come off as you move down. I want to turn it around, and I want to get a little bit right here between my rings. A lot of this is going to be covered, but that's okay. I just want to be sure I've got some color kind of everywhere, kind of like that. So you can kind of see, lay this one to the side. And we can put our ruler out of the way. I want to use a baby wipe and wipe off my ruler because I want to be able to use it again. I kind of liked using this ruler. It did quick because it kind of spread across the whole thing. So might need to find a wider version of my applicator. I do believe Prima will have theirs out soon. Anna has got a couple coming that one's wider and one's not so wide. So what I'm going to do is grab my heat tool. Let's dry this up. Take just a second to dry this up. Put our top on the modeling paste. See if you can kind of see that pink. It kind of changes shades in and out. I'm having a serious problem with my light. I don't know why the light looks so funny. Maybe I didn't get a light turned on. I thought I did. This will dry really, really fast. Oh, I see Robbie's here. Hey, Robbie. Hey, Tiffany. Did I see you before? Yes, the silicone brushes. That's what I was talking about for spreading the modeling paste and stuff. I'm excited to get those. I have those on order, so I'm excited to get those. They will be very nice. I will keep up with those so that I don't have to use my ruler again. Oh, that worked. Sometimes you have to make quick, improvised tools, I guess, and so that worked well. Thank goodness I'd used it a few weeks ago, so I knew it would work. Okay, that is dry. So what I want to do is just grab my paper, and I'm just going to layer this up. My idea was just to put a few layers of paper on here just to kind of enhance the book, because I loved Frank's paper so much. I wanted to use them for this. So first paper that I used is this beautiful floral. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? It is gorgeous. And this has like the little tags on the back. This is 990817. You can also just like use scraps if you're scrapbooking and making mini albums or whatever, and you have scraps. Just grab your scraps to actually do this. Really would work perfect for a project like this because all the papers coordinate and anything would work. So I want to make this about 8 inches. Let's do 5 inches. I'm going to make it 5 by 8. So let's cut our 5 inches first. And then I want to do about 8 inches And you could do more or less. It doesn't really matter. That's just what I happen to do this one. So what I want to do is grab my ink. I'm using Dark Bark. And this is a brand new ink, so it's going to be really juiced up, and it's going to take a minute for it to dry, so I hope I don't smear it everywhere. It is really, they are so juicy when you first open them that sometimes I like for them to dry out just a little bit before I start my projects. Next thing I want to use is this beautiful paper. I'm going to use this side, and it's number 990848. Again, these are all Tales of You and Me. Look at that. Love it, love it, love it. And I want to do this one about the same size, about 5 by 8. And cut our 8 inches. And the same thing. I want to ink up the edges really, really good. And you can use your ink sponges or whatever you like. Frank started using lots of pens to ink his edges. I used to use the calligraphy pens. I loved using calligraphy pens for my edges, but I just love the bloom spray, so that's what I use. So what I'm going to do is just kind of take these two pieces here, layer those up, kind of like that. Grab my glue. No right or wrong way to do this. You can see I'm going to cover up a lot of that I did, coloring that I did, but I'm also going to roll my edges up here in just a minute, so you're going to get a peek at just a little bit more of it. And then we're going to do a little bit more coloring too with some white ink. And I don't think I put the inks on my supply list, but I'm using Prima's chalk edgers because they are the best. They are absolutely the best. Y'all knew that though, right? Okay, the next thing I want to do is just, I have a few of these cards left on the back. I'm just going to cut out, my glue is like oozing. I hate when it does that. That is the only problem with Fabri-Tac, is sometimes it gets thick and it oozes off the top. Okay, let's cut out the couple of cards. Doesn't matter which cards, they all coordinate, so just once you cut your paper up, or if you have a few cards left from another collection that you've already used, or another sheet of paper rather that you've already used, just use those cards. I'm just going to use them to layer here. Cut off our selvage. This is just a quick way to get the layers in and on and all that fun stuff. Continue to cut these out. And I'm hoping to have this book done. Well, I'm going to be using it right up until the wedding, but I'm hoping to gift it to my daughter, and it makes sense to her. I want to have all the notes in there and all the fun stuff that we've done as much as I possibly can. So what I want to do is ink my edges now. I'm going to have lots of pictures, and I got places for my receipts, and that's just what she needs to know is what all this is costing. So I want to have a place for all my receipts, and I've got a calendar in there. Prima has a gorgeous calendar insert that I have used. So lots and lots of things for the album, or for the planner. I keep calling it an album, I guess because it was like a mixed media deal. Okay, so what I want to do now is just kind of layer these up. And these may be a little bit different than what I originally did, but that is totally okay. These all coordinate, and they don't have to be exactly the same. You do what you want to do, and I'm just kind of making this work. I may have had this one on top before, but it really does not matter. I'm going to have this one on top this time. It doesn't bother me. Don't let it bother you. Okay, just like that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is grab some chipboard. And I'm probably not going to have the same chipboard because I'm just using like leftover packs of some that I've had. And my favorite for this planner was Debutante, because look at these dresses. Don't these remind you of wedding dresses? My daughter's dress is lace. That's all I can say. But it's beautiful, beautiful lace. And these dresses remind me of like a lace wedding dress. So I'm just going to kind of pull these out. I'm going to have to dump these out so I can kind of see what I got. And probably I'm going to have to, because what I need are a few flower pieces for my background. And what I may do is grab them from, I'm going to keep these dumped out so I can get to them. And I put my chipboard in baggies, and I just cut the top. I cut the top off and I add the number so that I can remember which collection it is. But it's much easier to store for me like that. So also what I'm going to do is grab this is Garden Fable. And I just have everything in these baggies and just all these leftovers, and all of these kind of coordinate with this collection. So I need some flowers. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to grab this flower. And let me see. I used like a frame on the other side over here. But if I can find another flower, I will just use another flower, because I may not have another frame. Sometimes you just, okay, I think we'll use that frame. I think I'll darken that up a little bit, but I believe we'll use that one. So these two pieces are from Garden Fable. So I want to I guess I'm going to put these back in the bag. Y'all know I can't have all this mess out here. But I'm going to go right back to this Debutante. I do need this word celebration. And I will pull a few more words from there in just a minute. So let's just put this back. And see, from this chipboard, you could even put like celebration time. You could put party. There's lots of words in here that you could use. So just whatever you want to do. But did I tell you the number to the Debutante? The Debutante number is 579067. And I'll tell you Garden Fable's number too. Garden Fable's number is 579074, and those are both for the chipboard. I'll put these right here beside me. So what I want to do is, for this one here, I want to take a little ink, because I don't want that so purple. I want to add just a little ink around that outside edge. Kind of maybe tone that purple down a little bit. Add that. And then I'm going to grab a brush and just kind of, since this is so wet, I can just kind of spread this a little bit with the brush, because that inker is really wet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pull off the little white backing kind of down to the chipboard. I want to be sure this stays stuck forever, and the sticky just may not work forever. And this is don't really like glue to this. This won't stay either, so I like to just kind of add my own glue. And it is oozing, so I'm going to kind of get what's off the sides. So I want to add this right about here. And then what I'm going to do is cut part of this frame off. I only need one side. And do not get rid of this. You may use this somewhere else, so don't throw that away. But I just want to be able to get this in pretty close. So be sure to pull off your white layer. And I'm pulling it off right down to the cardboard, because I'm going to add my own glue anyway. So let's add some glue here. Love the Fabri-Tac, because we've got a minute or two before it really dries. So just want to kind of add that right about there. And then I want to add some of this beautiful trim without throwing everything on the floor. And these roses, I want to add 4 of them. This is number 990466. So I want to add 4. of these little rosebuds here on this trim. So cut 4 of those off. Lay that to the side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and remove this netting. I don't want this netting on here. It's okay if you leave a little bit, or you could fold it under and glue it under. I'm just going to kind of cut it away just because I don't want to see it. Can y'all hear the rain coming down? It is pouring right this moment. Literally pouring down. We have a metal roof, and I can hear it just beating on that roof. That's my favorite part about having a metal roof on our house, because it makes really good sleeping weather. So what I'm going to do is just add this right about here. Add a little glue to the bottom. Just all the way down. Add a little glue. And then right about there is where I want that. And you can kind of see the flower kind of coming out from one side and the frame from the other. Just details, layers and details is kind of what I like to have. Just lots of layers and lots of details. So I need to go and find my little pearls. They're right in front of me there in that drawer. But what I'm going to do first is take my fingers on these edges, and I'm just going to kind of roll these edges. Each one of them. Just kind of with your fingers get that started and just kind of roll that up. I like the idea of having these edges rolled just a little bit. Helps with the layers and makes me happy to see these rolled. So just kind of roll that up. Another thing that you could do that I actually did and I forgot to do it on this one. You can use your Prima Distresser. You can use your Prima Distresser and you can kind of distress your edges, and I actually did that and failed to do that, so I'm just going to kind of lift my layers up just a little bit, what's showing, and do that now because I just want a little bit of that white core showing. So just much easier if you do it before you have glued it down the way I have, but this works too. Just kind of shake off our little paper shreds there, just like so. Just want to kind of distress those up some. I love this tool, and if it tears just a little bit, that just kind of adds to the distress. And I'm using this side little, looks like part of a bone folder, but it's got a little blade in there, and it just works really well and really fast to kind of just distress that right up for you. Okay, just about like that. I'm just going to shake off those little paper shreds, just about like that. And then I'm just going to continue to kind of roll these at the bottom as well. I even kind of fold this one down just a little bit. Just kind of muss them up a little. And you can tear them a little bit if you want to kind of show that white core some, and just distress it up just a little bit. I don't distress a lot of things. I kind of like to keep things pretty clean, but sometimes I love the shabby feel of the distressed look, and so sometimes I can't help myself, and I want to get messy. I want it to be messier. So that's about what I've got. Just kind of push that in with your nails a little bit, and just about like that. Okay, that works for me. That is good. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is show you on this background. I took some white ink and I just like stamped it on my nonstick surface. This one is really a new one too, so it's extremely wet. So that I want a little dab of water, and what I want to do is get this really wet over here. Just pull that water over, and I want to add it to some of my areas here where I stenciled. I just want to kind of soak around there because I want that wet. You can kind of see what I'm doing. I want that to kind of soak around this darker pink color that I've added, and maybe even touch the side of the paper with this white color. I want to move that white around. I want to move it around my album here because I've got this. I'm not going to change the color of this white trim here, so I want to, my computer's going to sleep, I want to just add it just in a few places so you can kind of see just kind of the edges of my papers, and need a little more. You could also do this with the Frost bloom spray. The Frost would work really well for this. I just happen to have the ink handy right here. Add a little to your frame. Add a little at the top, this corner here. I just kind of want to spread it around. But I especially like it on where I stenciled because it soaks around and that darker pink color comes through, and it just gives it a really nice distressed little look. So just all over, kind of peeking out from under here. I hope y'all can see this. I just want to kind of add it under the layers here as well. Maybe kind of under our frame, just so we got that nice white just in certain places. No, just you want to, I mean, it's not that there's no rhyme or reason to it. You kind of want to balance it out by kind of getting it all around. But you can just kind of, this is just something you can just kind of play with and do as much or as little as you want. So that is good. That makes me happy. Obviously, it's about making us happy with our own projects, so that will work. Grab a paper towel, dry up our mess. Okay, and this being a planner, it is a little bit more time extensive, so I may go over just a little, and I'm going to reach across you here, and I'm going to grab a few of my pearls because I want to add pearls inside of my, and I may actually have to move my table. I did not realize I was going to be in the way of myself here. Let me just see what I've got. Okay, let's just use these. These are kind of big and kind of flat, but I think they will work. What I want to do, these may be too big. I may have to grab more. No, they'll do. I like them. So I want to put two of these together, and these are just something I picked up at the hobby store. And you can get pearls in all sizes. These are pretty large. I think these came from Michael's. They are pretty large, so just add a little touch of glue to the back. Kind of open this up. Let's get it right here in the center. I actually may like these big ones. I think I do. Haven't had an opportunity to use these very much, but I think it works for this. Just right there in the center of that. A little trim. Just like so. And just stick it right down in the center. These make a statement. This is pearlized. My daughter's wedding is going to be filled with pearls. She's a pearl crazy girl. Let's get you back in view here. I've messed my whole thing up. Let's get y'all back in camera. She has been wearing pearls forever, and she loves them, so we're going to purl everything. It's just what you got to do. Okay. Next thing I want to do is grab my trim, my other trim. Grab this beautiful trim here that is part of Frank Garcia's. Well, maybe not. Take that back. These weren't Frank's. These were released by Prima, but these weren't actually Frank's. But they're still Prima and they're still gorgeous. And we're going to use them on Frank's papers. I'm just cutting them in half because I'm not going to waste. I can use this other half on something else if I don't use them on this project, but I'm going to pretty well use them on this project. So what I want to do is just add a little layer of glue up under there, and with my scissors just kind of push these under. It's all about layers, all about contrast fabrics and stuff. Just add stuff. Cut these top two off, and I want to add these just under the top right here. So just run a little more glue right there. With your scissors, I need my little cutter bee scissors. They are not near my desk, but I need them. My little Tim Holtz scissors will have to do. Add that right about there so you can kind of see how that is right there. And then what I want to do is take a little bloom spray. Spray a little bloom spray right here because I am going to add some color to... see my planner to see what else I've done. I want to add some color to them. I'm going to cut one more of these off. And right under here, I'm going to add a little glue. I want to move this around to this side just a little bit. Got a little fabric right about there. Then I'm going to grab a paintbrush and the bloom spray, and I'm just going to add some color. I want to pink these up a little bit. Let's add a little water to that too. And since this is canvas under here and the paper's been distressed, it doesn't matter if it gets a little wet. Add that just like so. Be as messy as you like. And then what I want to do is just a couple of little spots here, I wanted to add just a little pink. Not a lot, just in a couple of places. A little bit right there. Maybe a little bit right here. And then maybe a little bit right here. And that is it. That's all I want to do to that white. Let's leave that white. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is grab these. Oh, and this number was, for this trim, this was number, where are you at, number? Where are you, number? Huh. Oh, 583002. And then this number is the one I'm going to use next. This is 583033. And these are my favorites. I love these little tiny ones. Love these. My scissors are not sharp, so what I'm going to do is just cut a few of these apart. Just a few of these. So that we can use these. Okay. And then I want to grab my, let's grab my words that go with my mixed media insides. Let's grab these words right here. And I want to pull off the word plan. There is a word. Where is it at? It's here, right here, plans. I want to use this word. So I want to just kind of stick it right there just a second for it just to kind of lay low right there. Pull your white off the back. You can pull it down to the cardboard. Totally good because we're going to glue it again anyway. If you don't drop it in the floor. Look to see how we've placed it on our planner. Okay, so what I've done is I've used another little piece of chipboard up under, so I'm going to reach into the garden table bag here and just maybe pull out a little tag, about like that. Pull your back off, not down to the cardboard if you can get it there. Well, we're not going to worry about getting it down to the cardboard. Just add a little extra glue. Can just kind of add that right about there. And then you want to add some glue to your word. And this again is from the Garden Fable collection. And that kind of helps to kind of bring that up, adding that little tag up under there. That brings that up just a little bit. Take your little word and add just a little bit of brown ink to that outside edge. And this is the dark bark again, just to give that a little bit more definition. And you want to add a little glue to this as well. It is sticky, but if you want it to stay forever, add a little Fabri-Tac. I'm going to wipe some of that off. I don't want it to ooze out everywhere. And then just kind of place this right up under the word celebration. So we've got celebration plans, and that is what this book is all about, is our celebration plans. So we're going to add that right about there. Let's use our pen here to kind of straighten that up. Okay, right about like that. Then what I want to do really quick is give a little bit more bloom spray with our little flowers here. Just color them up just a little bit. Add a little glue to the back. Those go one right about here, kind of under there. And then same thing. I'm just going to kind of drop that one down into that, like so. Add a little glue. Add that one right about there. Just kind of offset those a little bit. Right about there, like that. Next, we're going to add some string pearls. And where are our metals? These beautiful metals. This is number 584917. Take out our metals. I'm going to add the swan. Beautiful swan. You know, my pearls are bigger, so we may have to sort of regroup on where we put that swan. I didn't think about that. My pearl's not so big, so the swan kind of snuggled it. So maybe we will use a different one. Let's use the bird. Let's don't use the swan this time. Let's use the bird. We will save the swan for another project. You can see, I'll show you real quick. You can see how we kind of just nestled that swan in, but our pearls were really small, so we won't worry about that. No two projects have to be the same. I like to make them a little different. So let's add this little bird right about here. Have him kind of in flight going that way. And then we'll add this one here. Kind of in flight going this way. Kind of like that. Then I just want to just kind of cut off a, I guess that's probably about 20 inches of these string pearls. And I picked these up in my, just in my craft store. And I just kind of laid these down. Just sort of wound them around. And everything will be dry eventually, so these things won't shift and move on you. But just kind of want to wind this around. Once you get it all kind of wound around and like you want it, I'm going to cut that off a little bit. Kind of like you want it. Then what you want to do is you go in with your glue. Let's clean this glue up first. Wipe off some of that mess. Grab a paper towel. Get all that mess off. Okay. Then what you want to do is just add a little glue, kind of the back of your pearls, just a little bit, and kind of tuck them in and around. And this is so oozy. It's going to be really easy to get some glue out. Don't worry about your strings when it's dried. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's going everywhere. Let's just put a little bit on my finger and just kind of pull it off my finger. That'll work better. Just about like that. Yeah, that's the only problem with Fabri-Tac. Sometimes it kind of has a mind of its own. Okay, and that is where we want to put that. I'll get this glue off my hand a little bit and I'll show you. Can you kind of see how that's there? How we got our birds and all that there. And then what I did with our flower centers is I just went in and grabbed a few of these satin crystal pieces, and I just kind of placed them. I've kind of placed them in flower centers there. Added one, if I can keep the color of the sticky on there, added one right here to on top of that to kind of be that flower center. I added one, I kind of pushed the paper back right here and added one kind of up under here, kind of peeking out. I wanted to kind of move this around, have a little bit of bling, kind of moving around. Add one up here to that flower, kind of peeking out. And that is it. That is our cover. So you can just kind of see that's all I did. I wanted to keep this pretty flat. I didn't want to do a lot of flowers piled up because I want to be able to use this and turn this. And you can see I don't obviously have it all glued down, or it's not dried yet because it's moving. So I need to add a little bit more glue to kind of put that in there. But you can kind of see that is our cover. So really quick, let's move on, and I will show you a few things that I did to the inside to kind of help me dry this up good. Kind of help me stay organized. I'll show you a few things that I think I need for the wedding, and things that I thought that I would want to remember, and so many things to keep up with. I have, oh my gosh, there's so many details to keep up with. So first thing that I did, just start going through the album and showing you. First thing I did was I added a piece of paper here to the inside cover, and I cut that, and that's just again the floral paper. I cut that 8.5 by 6, and I just glued that to the inside cover. You can glue more strips to this. You could leave some glue off the top and add some pins, but for now I wanted that decorated, so I started there. This next page you see here is actually a folder. This is an open folder for me to add photos, receipts, fabric samples, anything that I have in my hand that I know I'm going to need to keep up with and go through later. And the way I did that is this mixed media insert that I used. If you go through it to the back, you will see you have these two cardstock pieces. So took those two pieces, and the first thing I did is I took this large scalloped punch. This is a 3.5-inch scalloped punch. I turned the punch over so I could kind of see where I was punching. I placed my paper kind of in there. I just sort of eyeballed it, centered it as best I could. No big deal if it's not perfect. And I punched. And then I took out my piece that I had left. And the next thing I did, sort of, those are like that. I grabbed my ink, and all around I inked it. And I just thought this made a really cool cutout because it kind of has that wedding motif to me because it's scalloped, and I don't know why. It just looks pretty to me. So you could do just a round punch, or It would need to be kind of a larger punch to sort of make the impact, but you could use whatever you liked. Just ink your edges really well, however you like to ink your edges. And then I took the glue. You could use some of the artesian tape or whatever you wanted to. I was just doing it really quickly, so I just very quickly did a string of, just right on the edge, some Fabri-Tac all the way around 3 sides, all the way down 3 sides. Lay these together. If you have some kind of oozing out the sides, you just want to take your finger, kind of wipe down the sides. If you have any that escapes, just about like that. Then what I did with my little piece that I had left over here, grab your ink again. I'll show you, this has a purpose. Grab your ink, kind of ink those scallops pretty good. And then right along this bottom edge, add just a little bit of glue. What I did was just kind of open this up, and put that right inside there, just about like that. And what it's going to do is give some stability to our next punch we're going to place on top, so that we can kind of open this out really good. Just you may want to kind of let these outside pieces dry first, and be sure that you're not gluing your pieces together. Be sure your hand clears and that you're not gluing those together. So the next thing I want to do is grab a piece of paper. I just want to grab this small floral paper here that I just happen to have, and my punch again, and I want to do a large 3.5 inch punch of that paper. That's all we need for our punch. My computer's going to sleep. Grab your ink, and just around your outside edges, add a little ink. Everything looks better with that edge kind of inked and enhanced to me. So if you hate it, don't worry about it. But I just kind of like that edge inked. Add a little glue all to the inside, and then just kind of line this up. See, I'm kind of lining this up on my scalloped edge there. And you'll want to let that dry, but that is going to be sort of your decorative edge. The next thing I did on this outside edge, you can see I've got a row of pearls, and then I've got a row of the little trim. Take your papers. This measures about, let's see, about almost 9 inches. So what I want to do is cut a strip, and if you've got a strip, then let's do it almost 9, right about there. If you've got a strip in your leftovers, that is perfect. Like if you have your scraps and you find a leftover scrap, you want to cut about a 2-inch strip, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, whatever you got. I'm using this trim, number 577018, but any trim would do, any trim you have. Let's ink our edge up. Ink, ink, ink. Ink, ink, ink. Carrie, I know I'm over. Don't kill me. I'm hurrying. I knew this was going to take a little longer. Planners just take longer, so I totally understand if anybody has to go. I just want to be sure to go over most of this. So what I did is just run a little glue, grab my glue, run a little glue down the back side. You can see there's that side, and down this long side right here, I'm going to run a little glue. I'm going to do a little bit out farther than I need it because I'm going to add that 2-inch piece. So first thing I'm going to do is add my trim. Just kind of add your trim right about there. Then I want to add my paper on top like so, and then just kind of pull your trim up until you can see it. I need my little pen that I had. It'd be easier with your little cutter bee pointy scissors, but your fingernails will work. Just kind of pull it out so you can see it. It's not a very big trim, but I think it makes a really nice statement. Just like so. Okay, then what you want to do is just you can tuck in your edges here. I'm just going to kind of pull them in with my scissors here. Just kind of gather that up with the glue, or you can trim those off, whatever you want to do. It's just faster for me to kind of gather that up. So then we've got that side, and then on this side I used where did I get the pearls from? I think I just saw them. Those are not the exact ones I used, but you can just grab, oh, they're here. They're right here. So I want to just kind of cut up. I grabbed these I think these came from Hobby Lobby. Prima did some bling sheets before. You could use the bling sheets. We're pearlizing everything, so I am just sticking on the pearls. So you can see I'm just going to cut a couple of rows of these to finish this off and make this pretty. I want the planner to be functional. I need functionality, but I also want it really pretty. And I want to be able to do a little bit to it, like every week or so. I want to be able to add something. So just collect your pretty stuff and just make it pretty. Jamie's faith line with her little 3x4 or 2.5x3, I forgot what size those little journal spots are, would be perfect in something like this. You could add those and add, you know, sweet sayings and inspirational sayings and things like that, things that get you through events like this, because they can be hard on everybody. They're so time consuming, and they can just be rough on everybody. So the last thing that I did with this page is I added a little butterfly. And Carrie, I don't have the number. I don't have the top of this packaging. But this is just a little metal clip butterfly. And I just wanted to kind of clip that there. You could add another little title here. You can add photos on here. This is, like I said, this is just getting started. This album, or this planner, is a work in progress. Okay, so there's that page right there. You can see that I did that. That's how I did that. Turn this over, and then you've got your dividers. I've used these words. I just put beautiful. I've used some of these words on my tabs here. You can use words that are there. You can use words from other things you have. You can make words from the alphabets. I took the bloom spray, the cotton candy bloom spray, and I sprayed these canvas sheets. You can see they're just kind of pink. So just spray your canvas sheets. I'm going to add some fabric samples on this one. I've got different, we're doing red in some of what we're doing, so I need that color red. And so I'm just going to add fabric samples here. I've got a few pins that I saved today when they were measuring Anna. I saved a few of the pins that the lady was using. I want to keep those kind of as souvenirs to write a little note that's where they came from. I saved one of the buttons that they're actually sewing to the back of her dress. I'm going to put that here. These are my trim samples, so that if I've got my book and I'm off, I know what I'm using for trims. A good idea, I thought, with these little insert sheets here, these are photos of things that we have gotten off of Pinterest for ideas. And what I did is I just printed a collage of a few of them, some of my favorites. This is actually going to be, this is a photo of what her cake's going to look like. So I printed these off, cut them up, and I added them here so that when I'm out and about, I can kind of remind myself what I need to be looking for, what our ideas were, and it gives me inspiration when I'm out shopping and when I'm with her, and then we can add things as we go. But there's plenty of these, and you can add more, whatever you like. So then again, I've added a word here. This back side here, this is another envelope that I've made, and I'll show you real quick how I made it. Again, these are in the little mixed media inserts that you have here. So I just kind of went through this back, and you can see it's this piece right here. You can cut it for tags, or you can use this side. So I want to use this side, and I want to grab the divider that I've used. I've used that striped divider, so let me grab it out. And I hope y'all are okay with me just kind of going through the album like this, one page at a time. But I used this back side, you can see right there, these two together. So the way I accomplished that is I took this with just a Fisker's punch. I used this sort of decorative scalloped lace, and the way I did it, I didn't want to go all the way to the end. I wanted the ends not, I wanted it, well, you can't see, let me move it over. I wanted the ends kind of straight. I wanted it indented down. So the way I accomplished that is, first I trimmed off about a 1/2 inch from the side of my paper. I trimmed off about a 1/2 inch from that side. So that's what you want to do first. Just trim your 1/2 inch so that it's a little bit smaller. You want it a little bit smaller than your page, like that. And then I went in with my punch, and I placed the punch, I placed it about 1 inch down. You can kind of see, I've got some lines there. So I placed it about 1 inch down, and I punched. You can see there it is. I don't want to go quite that far away. So what I did is I lined it up. You can line it up, move down. It's kind of hard to show you this on camera, but what I did is I moved down. When you're punching, you know, you move down, you line it up. So what I did is I went all the way down to this other end, all but about 1 inch. So what I want to do is I want to be sure you can kind of turn it over and see where you are. So I wanted it right about there. So I'm going to kind of punch this upside down. Okay, so you can see on this end, I have about 1 inch that is not punched. That's what I want. So then what you're going to do is just kind of line up the other side. Same way. You want about 1 inch of that that's not done. So turn that over. You have to kind of do it from the back. And it's pretty easy. You can kind of punch these from the back. Pretty easy. So I want to go down and line that up. And I can kind of see from under there about where I'm at. And then just punch. So we got it just about like that. Then just take your scissors. And what I want to do is cut in with my scissors. Cut kind of on the diagonal. And cut that out. About like that. And it just gives a pretty interesting little folder for that side there. So you can kind of see. And then what I did is just take my glue. Glue on 3 sides. And then just kind of put these together like so. Okay, just about like that. And then you can go in with your ink. Go in with your ink as well. If I can find my brown ink, take your ink and just kind of go all the way around. And before you kind of glued that together, you could have even inked that inside edge there. And so what I did with this is, you can see, I added the row of pearls. For time's sakes, I'm not going to do that. I just added a row of pearls right there. And from my bags of chipboard, I added just a little journaling spot and the word moments. So you can kind of see that's the page there. The next thing I did is I bought this little notebook paper in a office supply store. I got the size that I needed for the book, and I think this was like I want to say 5 by 7, I think was the size of this paper, and it had lots of holes. So I wanted some notebook paper for some notes. While out on the road, list, I need some cylinder vases and glossy accents. So I kind of wrote that there so that I would remember that today. The next thing I did on this little insert page here, this is still part of my insert, my mixed media insert. I just added a few more a few more sticky pearls and the word today. So that way I would know this is what I need to do today. I put myself some notebook paper in here. This is another divider. This here is the white paper with more of the printed paper. So what I did there, I will show you. Put this to the side. I used the white paper, the white cardstock that's in there between the dividers. And I used the back of this. I wasn't really going to use these stickers. I didn't really want to cut those out for myself. So I just literally put those together. But first, I just sort of cut a diagonal on that back page. So what you want to do, after you drop your glue, or after you drop your ink, just kind of lay this in your trimmer, kind of diagonally. Take the point and put it at the area where you will begin your cut, and then just kind of twist in the upright position. So you'll want the top right corner right here, and then you can see right where my blade's going to cut right down through there. So you can put a mark here. You can measure down and mark there. I almost did it exactly. You could like measure down your paper and decide how far down you wanted it to go. I just kind of was okay with eyeballing it. I'm going to grab my ink, and then you just want to ink your edges. And I need folders. I need little places inside this planner to tuck things. I've got lots of little bits and pieces I'm picking up every day here and there, and I need to, oh, I'm knocking everything off. I'm in a hurry. I'm trying to get y'all out of here. So, and I just kind of want to show you what I've done so far. I've got more plans for this planner, but for now, this is the stage I'm at. But I just started all this wedding stuff in January, really hot and heavy in January. So you're just going to kind of place those together, and there is that. And what I did is just took a few more. I took a few more sticky pearls and added them there, and that's another one of the little butterfly clips. So that's that page. This is just another one of the white sheets, and I took one clip on this side, another clip on that side, so I can kind of clip things there. I can add photos. This would be a really good spot to, I think, if I'm taking photos or whatever, just kind of add my little photos there, and it's going to make a really good memory album for Anna, as well as a planner for me. It's going to make a really good memory album for her. This again is part of the inserts with our little divider sheets. This page here, all I've done here is, these are two of the white sheets, and I've done the same thing. I made myself a little opening. This is just a little folder back there. So what I did is, this is done the opposite way. I want to cut this paper diagonally from left to right with my holes here. So I'm going to place my corner right there at my cut mark. It's going to be right there at my cut mark. You can measure down if you like, but I'm just going to eyeball it. Just kind of cut that on a diagonal, and that gives you that cut right there. So just ink your papers right down. And these will glue together like so. Just easy peasy little folders. And I'll have plenty of little areas to keep things. So place that right there. And right down on top of this one. And like I said, y'all are so welcome to use Frank's tape. That would work perfect for these. I'm just so used to grabbing the Fabri-Tac. The only other thing I did to this one is I cut a piece of paper to glue to the top of it. And that paper measures, Measures 5 by 7. So I just did a cutout of a 5 by 7 piece of paper, overlapped the top here, glued it straight down, added some pearls, another piece of chipboard that says court dress with a beautiful pin. It's a word pin, and let me tell you where that comes from, if I have them here. Carrie, these are the word phrases with the pins, and I don't have the packaging. If you happen to have that number, please. So that's it for that one there. That covers that page. So if you turn this over, again, I've got more inserts here for just decorative pictures and pictures I've done from Pinterest. I've got the insert here, or the tab piece here, that says calendar this time, because now you're going to get to see my calendar. The calendar insert from Prima is number 565145. I've used a piece of chipboard from Debutante. It says, "Let's dance, my darling." I've used another piece of chipboard here, and I've just gone in. This calendar comes blank. It'll just say January. I wrote 2016, and I went and just hand wrote my numbers. And then I'm writing my notes of things that we are having to do in January. We're doing our dress fitting and all in January, so I added a cute dress here from the Debutante collection. And then so on as you go through this album. For Valentine's Day, I wrote all the numbers. Valentine's Day, I just put a little piece of chipboard, the word love. And this comes from Prima's chipboard. I have a stash of just leftover chipboard pieces. This is the March calendar. Anna's birthday is March 22nd, so I added a wood icon flower there. And this also is a wood icon, not chipboards, wood icons. So just go all the way through. April, this is Sterling's birthday, so I added the little envelope piece of wood there. And you can see just all the way through. My sweet grandbaby's birthday is the 16th. And then I'm going to add something else here to the actual wedding day. But that is it. And the rest of this is just calendar. And then I've got my back cover. I have not covered it with paper yet. I want to add a really pretty piece of paper. But I also have colored the back with some white. And I've done some stenciling on it as well. I use the white ink. But that is it. This here is just a bunch of seam binding. I just took a bunch off, pushed it into a baggie. Y'all saw me do that the other day. I kind of dumped it all into the baggie, sprayed it with bloom spray, and just tied a big wad of that into a knot around, and then just cut the tags in different lengths, and that gave me my tie there. So that is it. That is our planner, and like I said, it's a work in progress. So I've got lots more to do, and tons more playing that I get to do with it. So I am happy with the way it turned out, and I love that Prima is selling all the elements that we can, or all the elements that we need to create something like this, and you can just create and make it your very own. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and thank you for staying late. I am like 25 minutes over, and I do apologize, but I enjoyed being here, and y'all come back and join Jamie on Tuesday. Don't forget about that. Run over there and sign up for that Seaside event that's going on. I would love to be there with you. So anyway, y'all have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. I will see y'all next time. Have a great night. Bye.